Good morning. I'm Shauna Guy, and this is Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift and inspire us all. Every weekday morning at 10:30 a.m., we are recapping the Good News Only, the feel-good headlines, the community local wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, maybe it's a community success or a birthday or just something that made you smile, I want to know about it. Send me an email to news25@wek.com and be sure to put "Hey Shauna" in the subject line so I know it's for me. I would love to share your good news right here on the show. So today, woo, look, I was just running down the hall. I'm out of breath. Running down the hall to get here. And I am so out of breath. Woo, so how was your weekend? Oh, so far, how was your week? So far, I was going to say weekend because it is a weekend. I'm so excited. Last week I was happy and couldn't wait for the weekend. I was exhausted. This year I'm less exhausted, or this week I'm less exhausted, but more reflective. I've had an okay week. Lots and lots and lots and lots of fast moving changes, and it just kind of made me think about my life so far, just this year. I think I said this last week or the week before. This was not on my bingo card for 2025. I would have never thunk it, but here we are, and it's not so bad. So anyway, I just thought I would start today's show off by just asking everybody to reflect on your week. How is it going? It's the holidays, it's dark, it's gloomy, and we have to be intentional about making sure that we find reasons to celebrate, reasons to be grateful, reasons to be happy, reasons to smile. And that's why we're all here today at 10:30 a.m. To find something to smile about. So let's start off with a local charity which is helping members of our very own community. Oh wait, no, I want to tell you this about this little girl before we go to break. I have to tell you about this little baby. So I'm going to play the story here. So this little girl is Elena, and her this is her mom, and this is the owner of Culver's here, and the little mascot standing next to him is Scooby. So little Elena wrote. She's 5 years old, and she had a class assignment, and the teacher asked on the paper, if you were a gingerbread girl, where would you run to? And she said she would run to Culver's, and she drew a picture of herself in a Culver's hat and all their little logos and colors and stuff. And so her mom posted that on Facebook along with the assignment, which I'm going to show you a picture of the assignment. I'll bring that on Monday so you can see it. I forgot to include a picture of it. But so her mom posted this, and it got like within the first hour 100 likes, and then it just kind of grew from there, and it's still going. And she posted it in the Washington on the Washington Facebook page, because they live in Washington. Sorry, I should have told you that. But so they posted this, and everybody loved it, and everybody was sending it to the owner of Culver's, and he actually saw it himself. Our buzzer's going to go off in a minute. If it does, then we'll continue this conversation when we come back from break. But he actually invited her to the store. She wanted to give him the paper herself, and so he invited her to the store, and he gave her several little gifts. He gave her a couple of balls, he gave her some gift cards for Culver's, and then he gave her, I'll tell you after the break. We're going to break. Welcome back. We are back from break. So as I was saying, the little gingerbread girl, she was given, her name is Elena, sorry, but she was given by the owner of Culver's. He gave her a couple of water bottles, cute little water bottles, gift cards for the store, and two balls, which she adored. I asked her why she liked Culver's so much, and she said she liked Culver's because she loved ice cream, and that was fitting. I'm not surprised by that. And when we asked, I'll pull it up again here. When we asked Scoopy for comments, he waved. So everybody was excited to see her. He said he thought this was really sweet, and he loved her imagination as a child. It was pure and it moved him. And so he had to meet her. So this was the cutest story. I will probably run it again on Monday and play it with sound. Today, I'm not sure if I want to tempt fate by playing the sound just yet. But yeah, so that's little Elena and her mommy. Cute little girl. Cute, 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 and cute story. Okay, so moving on to Sophia's Kitchen. So Sophia's Kitchen is easing holiday stress for people in Central Illinois. So as the holiday countdown continues, they are helping families breathe a little easier. They kicked off their annual Christmas basket giveaway, and they eased stress again for hundreds of families, actually. Dozens lined up Wednesday to receive a box filled with Christmas cheer. Volunteers and donors worked for days to prepare more than 1,200 baskets, and each box included $50 worth of canned goods and essential meals. So families also received a turkey, ham, and a $10 Kroger card. Organizers say the event brings smiles during a time of growing need. This has been a particularly scary holiday season with the government shutdown and everything that, sorry, somebody's walking through. Everything that has been going on in the economy. So I'm glad they were able to do that. So if you missed Wednesday, they're still available Thursday and Friday, and distribution runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's first come, first served, so you want to get there as early as you can, and a valid ID is required, so make sure you take that, and you get one basket per household. Good job, and thank you to them. And for all of you football lovers, I don't know anything about football, and what I'm about to tell you, I don't even understand. But I figured it's good news to somebody, right? Somebody who understands it. So far be it from me not to talk about it. So the IHSA is expanding high school football playoffs starting next season. Playoff fields grow from 32 to 48 teams per class. That means more than 100 additional teams. 384 total will qualify. Teams can now reach the playoffs with just 3 wins instead of 5. And some coaches worry about the competitiveness under the new format. East Peoria's coach says it could benefit smaller schools. The change may allow teams to face opponents closer to their size, and the top 16 teams will receive a first round bye week. No idea what that last line meant at all. If you know what it means, send me an email to news25@week.com and let me know what the first round bye week. What is that? What is that? What does that mean? Remember to put "Hey Shauna" in the subject line so I know it's for me. You know, I just was never into sports. I wasn't into. I mean, I liked soccer. Yeah, that was good. But I never. Oh, and I love a good game of kickball. But I never was into football, basketball. I mean, we're just running back and forth from one end of the field to the next to do what? I mean, I just never could. And then a friend of ours from church, their son was in high school, and he was on a high school football team. And so he's really good as far as what they say. You know, I wouldn't know. But we went and watched him play. The only time I got involved, back after the break. And welcome back. I believe we're back. We should be back. I pushed the button for us to be back. I think we're back. So welcome back. So as I was saying, the only time I got involved with, like really got into the game that I was at, the football game I was at, was when I felt infuriated because he was tackled. That is so rough, and I couldn't be a football mom, because I would be on the field, like running from the bleachers to the grass and tackling kids myself, putting them to the grass over my baby. So I couldn't do it. So I commend those parents and students, those families who can sit and watch that and do that. It just seems so brutal. So look at this. In national good news, there are some inmates, and I hate calling them that. They also call them prisoners. I don't like calling them that. So some people who are incarcerated, I guess we'll just do that for now, okay, to ease my conscience. But they're in Carolina, South Carolina, and they're knitting gifts for elderly residents. And so the items that they knit include blankets, hats, scarves, and stuffed animals even. The effort supports seniors in long-term care facilities, which I think is wonderful. The Department of Corrections and Aging partnered on the project to get it done. So more than 1,400 handmade gifts will be delivered statewide. And the program began during the pandemic and continues to grow. Prison officials say the inmates feel pride in giving back to the community. I told you a while back that I usually every year I go and do some work with a government organization in Missouri, and it's for students, college students, but part of the weekend is to go visit the Missouri State Prison, and I've done it twice. 2 times was all my heart could take, because these men, it was men at the prison that I went to, they are really talented. Like, you have people in there doing woodwork, like they're carving stuff out of wood, paintings, like the way they paint and draw. They actually auction some of their artwork off, to raise money for the state. It's amazing, but it's so unfortunate because they don't have their freedom, so they are property of the state and they don't own their own work. I cannot imagine that in my head, how I can birth something from my own spirit and make it come to fruition with my own 2 hands, and I have no control over it. It's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. That is crazy. But the fact that they are so they take so much pride in the work that they do, and they're happy to do it. They even made weighted blankets for children with autism. It's just amazing what people, in these facilities actually can do. But it is encouraging, just because it gives you hope that maybe once they get out, they are able to take care of themselves and start a new life with, because some of them didn't know they had these skills. And so some of the skills are newfound, and some of them are skills that they left behind, and, now they're revisiting. So I like this. I like that they're knitting. I like that they are, especially, knitting being something that you would think an older person or older woman especially would do. But they're finding joy and purpose in doing that. So I really, really like that. That's why I wanted to share that story with you. And then I feel like the buzzer's going to beep on me. Let me look. It scares me every time. So let me make sure. No, it's not. We got 1 minute. And then we'll move on to our next story, because next I'm going to tell you about this tattoo shop that is giving toys away for kids, like for Christmas. It's really cool how they have taken the shop and like the work that they do to raise funds to give back. Again, one of those things we don't always think about. Like, we don't always think that a tattoo shop, kids are not even allowed in there, but they are taking their time to put their efforts, their talents, and their skill towards something that matters for the community. And again, it's just all about how they're thinking of others during this holiday season, especially this year with everything, again, that has gone and is going on. So I love it. We'll talk about that more after the break. And welcome back. We are back. So we were talking about the tattoo shop and how they have started a program this holiday season to give back. If you look at your screens there, you'll see this is a tattoo shop in Des Moines, and it's giving back in a big way. Warrior Tattoos donated $1,500, I'm sorry, $15,000 worth of toys to children and families of Iowa. The toys will go directly to kids in need this holiday season, and this marks the shop's ninth year of holiday giving. Total donations now exceed $120,000 worth of toys. This is so good. The owner says multiple local tattoo shops have teamed up to support the cause. This, I love this, and I wonder, like, if they I'll have to look and see if they actually do, if the work they do, how the work they do ties into raising these funds. Like if you go in and get a tattoo and you donate something, do you get something off of the price of a tattoo? And I'm only thinking that because there's been a couple stories that we have talked about in the last couple months, especially during the government shutdown, where they were doing that. And even one lady was doing, in October, she would do, I think it was free or half off, one or the other, tattoos for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so that was cool. So I'm just wondering if they do something like that. Every time I think about getting a tattoo, I do have a couple, and each one I regret. And it's just because once it's there, once it's done, I want it to go away. I don't like the permanency of it. Like I would like for them to be removable, like, and pain free. Like I don't know. It's just different. Do you have any tattoos? Let me know who's got tattoos. Tattoos used to be taboo back in the day, and I think they are a little bit more socially acceptable now. But they used to be very taboo. It was, I guess, doing stuff like this though does help to and make it a little bit more inviting and enticing. And speaking of Christmas, a little holiday magic took flight for families looking for a one-of-a-kind experience. This is the sweetest little thing. So families boarded the first ever Elf Air Express holiday charter. The 2-day adventure flew from Chicago to Minneapolis, and it was upon landing, families visited a private hangar. The kids met Santa Claus and they met characters like SpongeBob. The trip included 2 days at the Mall of America. Like, what that's a long time. 2 days to do. Well, Mall of America is pretty big though, so that, yeah, they needed 2 days. Families enjoyed attractions and tax-free shopping on clothes and shoes. Organizers say that the inaugural event was a huge success, so they definitely plan on doing it again. And sometimes one small act of kindness, I'm telling you, these breaks are really taking me for a ride because I'm so scared it's going to chime on us. And it is going to chime on us probably in the next 30 seconds. But after that break, we're going to talk about an act of kindness that's changing 2 lives. This lady who offered a grocery store employee a ride home, and they've been friends ever since. And I love stories like that. So more on that after the break. And welcome back. As promised, here's our last story. A Georgia woman offered a grocery store employee a ride home. She recognized him walking nearly 5 miles to work each day. That single ride has turned into a regular carpool, and the employee says walking home was often dark and dangerous. The two strangers slowly became close friends, and the woman says helping others honors her late son's memory. She feels like it's something he would want her to do. And more than a year later, the rides and the friendship has continued. Well, that is a wrap for me today. We got through it. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at week.com and be sure to put Hey Shauna in the subject line so I know it's for me. Let me know what you thought about today's show. Let me know what you thought about the breaks. In the meantime, be sure to tune in to the Midday Newscast and meet me back here on Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. Have a wonderful morning. I'm LaShawna Guy for 25 News.